Hi, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we're going to talk about Mercury retrograde. And there's a lot to say about Mercury retrograde, and you're going to hear some things first that you haven't heard from other people around. So, the first thing is, when is this going to happen? Mercury retrograde is going to happen this month on the 21st. And so, the next thing you want to know is, where is it going to be? Astrologically, meaning the degrees. Where are the degrees going to be? So it's going to be on 15 degrees Taurus. Now, Taurus is a fixed sign and it's also a earth sign. So, what does that mean when we're going to have a retrograde in Mercury and it's in a fixed and earth sign? Well, we could talk about that for a few minutes and see how that's going to affect your chart. So, earth signs are very slow, they're very methodical, practical. So, keep these words in mind because this is going to be the energy of Mercury. And remember, Mercury has to do with exchanges, communication. Think of the breath. You have an inhalation and you have an exhalation. That's where the oxygen and the carbon dioxide are exchanged for a great purpose. So, Mercury retrograde means that the energy is going inward. So, this is a time to reflect, to review. So, you don't have to redo, it's to reconsider all the re's, all right? Inward energy, not a time to take great action, okay? So, what is the most important thing that you're not going to hear anywhere else about Mercury retrograde? It's the most powerful part of the retrograde stationing. Stationing or the station is the most powerful part of the retrograde. Well, what do you mean by that? What I mean is that stationing point is where the planet, and I don't care which retrograde it is, but today we're talking about Mercury retrograde. What is it doing? It's stationing, meaning it's stationary and it's spinning around in one spot. That's tremendous energy. You think of a tornado when it goes around and around in one spot. It could be pretty intense. That being said, okay, you take that retrograde and you look where precisely is this retrograde stationing. When I say where, I mean in astrological talks, what degree in Taurus? It's 15 degrees Taurus. So for a whole week, 7 days, Mercury is going to be 15 degrees Taurus. This is powerful because that energy is on that spot. So you look on your chart, and we're talking, when we talk about the current live time planets, they're called transits. So when you look at transits, what you do is go into your natal chart wheel and you find where 15 degrees Taurus is in your natal chart. So first you find the sign, then you find the 15 degrees. Now we do this thing called an orb or a margin. So we could look at 2 degrees before the 15 degrees and 2 degrees after the 15 degrees. So that would be, look for 13 to 17 degrees Taurus. That means it's a conjunction. You're going to feel it pretty head on. But then, if you look at fixed signs, that's going to mean that there's a square or an opposition, which is a hard aspect. You'll probably be feeling something, intensely as well. So, look around your astrology chart, your natal chart, and see what houses are involved. Are there any natal planets that are involved between the 13 and the 17 degrees of a fixed sign or an earth sign. Earth sign will be more of a flow. It's just going to come without any work. Okay? It's just going to happen. Now, is it going to be bad or good? No such thing in astrology. Please. I don't do doom and gloom astrology. It is what it is. But there's this thing called the law of attraction, quantum physics. So, what you're going to do is you're going to use the intention of your communication going inward, reconsidering some important things that have to do with Taurus, possessions, accumulations, what makes you feel comfortable and stable in the area of communication. That's how you do it. Reverse engineer it. Okay? So let me take a peek at my notes and make sure that, oh, yes. So scan your chart, look for the aspects and the angles, and now you could get a clear understanding of what is going on with this Mercury retrograde. Mercury has to do with communication, teaching, learning, publishing, writing, talking, information. Okay? So it's very great stuff, but it's to think before you act. That's what it's all about. How long does a Mercury retrograde last? 3 weeks. So, quiz time. What is the most powerful time of a retrograde? During a station. How many stations in a retrograde? Well, a retrograde is when the planet is moving in one direction, like a car on a highway, and then it decides it's going to change directions. Don't worry about the mechanics of it and the astrophysics. We don't have to learn that. So it stays stationing before it goes in reverse. You cannot take a car going 60 miles an hour, slam the thing in reverse without ruining your transmission. So you stop and then go reverse. So while it's stationing, it stops. 15 degrees, Taurus. Keep that in mind. Then, after 1 week, it's going to start going backwards, backwards for 2 weeks. And then guess what? It's going to station again. So there are always two stations, two stationing periods with every retrograde. So it's a 1, 2, 3 slap in the head with all retrogrades. So if you don't get it the first time or the second time, what do they say? 3 times is a charm. Okay? I hope you've enjoyed this. Listen, thank you for listening. And if you would like to learn astrology from me, we're setting up meetups now to Let's Talk Astrology. It's going to be very inexpensive for you. We're going to do it for about 2 hours, probably on a Sunday between 4 and 6, starting not this one, the next Sunday. I will keep you posted. Also, if you're not following me on TikTok, it's a good place to get little tidbits. If you want to take a full course, Astrology Made Super Easy, it's a great place to start. I cover everything. I'm very thorough, very methodical. I have Saturn in the first house, and I use it to the best of my ability for your benefit. Great structure, and I've developed great Canva presentation graphics, which are really nice. Very proud of it, which are part of the book coming out. 2 books coming out. Okay? So go on holistichealingastrology.com, click on educational courses, and sign up. It's a great deal. It's thousands of dollars value. You get cheat sheets included. That in itself is worth a couple $100. So that way you don't have to read all these books. You could just find all the keywords to every component in astrology that we use in Western astrology. That's a phenomenal deal, including the elements and the modalities, plus the hemispheres and the quadrants, everything. Okay. And then you will also get your free astrological chart from me because I use the most accurate software program and I know how to put the information in. I can't tell you how many charts I have seen where the client has done their own chart on these free and paid websites and they're wrong. So we will discuss that at one of the upcoming workshops on the meetup. We're creating the calendar now so people could pick and choose what they want to do going out for the next year because I'm getting booked up solid and this is my passion is to teach everybody the ins and outs of astrology so you could use astrology as a tool for you and your family. And if you have children, get an astrology chart for the child so you could better communicate with the child, better understand the child. What is the astrology chart? It is a wonderful tool for personal development. If you're not using it, what can I tell you? It's the best thing that's ever happened in my life. It gave me coping skills, it gave me faith. I know where to look to overcome my challenges because a chart is nothing more than your soul contract. So I thank you very much for these few minutes that we've had together. I apologize for not giving you a heads up and telling you in advance that I was going to do this, but I have to squeeze in the information at the opportune time in between my consultations and my classes. So I hope you enjoyed this. Go on my website, check out my blogs, send me an email. Love to hear from you. All the best. Evzerverdakis, Holistic Healing Astrology.